Hi, this is Kirk with Forex Strategies and Secrets, and we're going to be talking about Lesson 3. It's titled Waiting for Good Trades and What Does a Good Trade Look Like? Everything that we're going to be showing you today can be learned quickly. There's only a few things that you need to watch for, and when you can recognize those and then put them together in a sequence, then you should be able to start doing quite well in your trading. So I'm going to do a quick review of Lesson 1 and 2. Find the direction of the trade. We use the moving averages and some momentum indicators. That helps us to find the direction. What are the indicator setups to look for? What do you look for in a trend trade? And what do you look for in a counter trend trade? That's the review. This is what we're going to do now, is go into Lesson 3. And we'll be looking for saddles and double saddles. Momentum indicators. Identifying the good trades and what a good trade looks like. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this session. So let's go to the charts and get right into it. First of all, I want to talk to you about saddles. What is a saddle? A saddle is mainly on these two indicators in the middle. Now when you hook up with the scanner and the 15 course material, then we talk about the saddles and you talk about the indicators so you know what you're looking for. But see, that's a saddle right there. It has to be a saddle buy if it's on the top side, and if it's below, it's a saddle sell. We're not seeing saddle sells right here. Here's a saddle buy and saddle buy right here. That's a saddle buy. But there's nothing over here on this side. There's a saddle buy right there. The indicator is not showing a saddle buy on both of them. Now, the other thing you want to be aware of, these two indicators, when they're both on the same side of the zero line, the zero line is that little line that I've drawn through there, and when it crosses above or below, that's when it's on the same side. Notice that's when the market's moving, or both were on the same side, and then it eventually took off. So it doesn't necessarily take off as soon as they are there, but that's the direction that's going to be trading. So we talked about the direction. Well, one is this moving average right here. The other would be which side of the zero line are these two indicators on. Now this is a 15-minute chart, and this vertical line off to the left is where the new day bar formed. And so sometime in the European session, this is where this big move took place right here. Now notice both of these indicators for the most part are on the same side. When the top one came below but the bottom one was still above, then you get a little hesitation, but when they both go back to the same side again, then you start seeing the momentum, because they are momentum indicators, and that's just giving the direction of which way the momentum is going. We talked about saddles on both these indicators. Now, one thing that's even stronger is a double saddle, meaning they both have a saddle at the same point in time. He's right there. That is what a good trade looks like. Either a saddle or a double saddle. A saddle, if all the indicators are on the right side and you get a saddle, then that's strong. Double saddle is even better. And these two indicators are on the same side. One other thing that I didn't mention is the filter. Now this just barely went across here. There's no saddle, but right there was a saddle. Let's look at this one. That had a saddle on one, but the other one didn't have a saddle, but they're all the same color. Now notice what happens in the price movement when they're all on the same side. There was a nice move right here, at 13 pips, but then there's a quick move right here, and then there was another big move right there. First of all, let's go to the 15. Okay, we've talked about this in one of the other lessons, and it's either it was lesson 2. We talked about an early bird filter. That's what where this vertical line is. That's an early bird filter on the 15-minute. And it took off. Now, say you didn't see it until it started on the next 15-minute bar. Then it is a 4 bar. So either of those lines would give you heads up that that's the direction you should be trading. Now we go to the 5-minute. The key to the 5-minute is making sure that there's that they're both on the same side. That's going to be your high probability. And then you go to the 1-minute and you look for saddles or double saddles. There you have it. 4-bar early bird filter on the 15. 5-minute, the Mayo fresh cross, or as long as it's on that same side of the zero line, then it will be a good possibility. Then you go to the 1-minute and look for saddles. Put these lines here. Let's go back and look at them now. One's an early bird filter, the other one is a 4-bar. See, they were both 4 bars on the 5-minute, but the 5-minute crossed on this early bird filter. Still a strong direction to trade. Now we go to the 1-minute. Okay, maybe we missed this part over here. This one happened very quickly, but if you'd been watching, you probably possibly could have caught it, but say you missed that one. This one didn't take off so fast. It's one that you could have traded very nicely. It took 5 minutes to make 42 pips total move, so 5 minutes probably to make about 20-30 pips. On that one would have been very easy, just reading the indicators, trading in the direction of the trend. We've covered it very quickly, and that's about how long it takes to learn how to use this strategy. The big problem is patience. Sometimes you get tired and you quit looking. About the time the market takes off, you're not seeing things because you're really not looking at every pair that would give you a possible move. And you had quite a bit of time here to find all this movement. And so the Euro CAD was moving. Now let's look at the pound CAD. Well, it was moving also. So basically the CAD pairs were the ones that were moving. And then the US CAD. You can see that all of them were moving in the same direction. Well, here's a saddle right here for 23 pips. There was a saddle right there that was for 50 pips. Now, did the saddles have to be at the same time? No. We had a saddle up here. There was a saddle here. We don't count the saddles so much on the filters. It's mainly the color and the fresh crosses and the color and the middle indicator. Let's look at another pair. Euro Aussie. Okay, it didn't move at the same time. It moved about a half an hour later, and it started moving. So let's go to the 15-minute. I'm going to mark this right there. Go to the 15-minute. What do we see here? Now there's a lot of lines there, so I'm going to. It's an early bird filter on the 15-minute. Then we go to a 4-bar. There was not a saddle there, but there was a fresh cross right there. But let's see if there are any saddles on the 1-minute. Right here there were not any saddles. Here's where some saddles came in, and there's a good 10-15 pips in that move, and then you could have had some movement right there. Now if you really know what you're doing, you could trade this section right here as well, and that's where the market was moving the most. Now that's the pound Aussie, so excuse me, the Euro Aussie. Let's look at the pound Aussie. Okay, it took a little bit longer to form a 4-bar. It didn't have an early bird filter. And you had a saddle on the 5-minute, a fresh cross. And you had a saddle the very next bar. Well, you had a saddle right there, and the following bar you had a saddle right there. So either of those bars, even though the second one it retraced on you 2 pips, then you had a bit of a move for 20 pips. So that's what there is to learning how to trade quickly. We said that it could be learned quickly. Find the direction of the trend, find the setups, and look for the saddles on the different time frames. But the caution once again is getting tired, losing focus, because these happened about the time that we were finishing the pip club,